Hi, Mary Masako Axhelm again. Mary Masako Axhelm. I'm doing exercise 2, salt tolerance and pH testing for lab 6, environmental influences on microbial growth, salt tolerance testing. All right, so I've got the vials of nutrient broth. I've got them labeled. So let's see, I've labeled them S. cerevisiae for these 3 and S. epidermidis, and for each series of 3 I have pH 5, pH 7, and pH 9. So now I'm going to take them individually, and I'm going to be adding the NaOH, the sodium hydroxide, as well as the hydrochloric acid, HCl, 1 drop each, to, let's see, first it says the S. epidermidis pH 5, so let's go ahead and do that. pH 5, it's the S. epidermidis pH 5, pH level 5. Then go ahead and place it over the flame to sterilize it. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. That should be sterilized. Oops. So that went out. Let's go ahead and light this again. Don't want to light. Alrighty. Maybe the wick got kind of small. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to be taking the HCl, which is the hydrochloric acid. And I'm going to be putting exactly 1 drop into the S. epidermidis pH 5. And let's go ahead and do that. So 1 drop. There we go, 1 drop. Then we're gonna put this through the flame again, sterilize it. Okay, put the cap back on it, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the pH 5 for the S. epidermidis. I just did it for the pH 5. Sorry about that. Let's see. It says pH 5. That's funny. All right, so I'm going to do it for pH 7. I think there was a typo actually in the directions, so I'm going to do it for pH 7. Because it's saying pH 5 again, and I just did that, so. All right. So go ahead and sterilize the lid. And take the HCl and put 1 drop. Here we go. The lid. All right, so now I'm going to do that for the pH 9, the S. epidermidis, and I'm not going to record it so that it doesn't take up too much of the video. Okay, so I actually noticed something. I did do, there wasn't a typo. I actually Didn't read it clearly, but after looking at it again, I realized that yes, I was supposed to put the hydrochloric acid into S. epidermidis pH 5, and then also the S. cerevisiae pH 5. So what I did is I crossed off what I had originally labeled it and made it the S. cerevisiae pH 5 instead of leaving it at S. epidermidis pH 7, and then I switched that out with the other one that we haven't used yet and made this S. epidermidis pH 5. I hope that makes sense, but I cleared it up before things got sketchy, I guess is a good way to put it. So those two are done. S. epidermidis pH 5, S. cerevisiae pH 5 both had 1 drop of hydrochloric acid. So now we're moving on to S. epidermidis pH 9 and S. cerevisiae pH 9. And we're going to be adding 1 drop of NaOH to each of these. So I separated them so that there isn't confusion as to which one was getting what. So go ahead and do the same thing with the flame to sterilize it, and then give it 1 drop of the NaOH. This is for the pH 9. Okay, so 1 drop. Like a little air bubble in it, but that's all right. And I'll go ahead and sterilize it again. Put the lid on, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing for the S. cerevisiae pH 9. Okay, so now I'm going to take the active culture of the S. epidermidis. This is the active culture, as you can see. And I'm going to be adding 2 drops from my pipette into the pH 7 for S. epidermidis, pH 9 for S. epidermidis, and the pH 5 for the S. epidermidis. So I'm going to do that now using the technique that we have been using, the aseptic technique. And then I'm going to do it also with the active culture of the S. cerevisiae and do the same thing into the nutrient broths, the S. cerevisiae pH 5, the S. cerevisiae pH 7, and the S. cerevisiae pH 9. So I'll be putting 2 drops of this active culture into those 3 vials. And then I'm going to be setting those aside.